grab this, it will look exactly the same as this, what we have here. And I'm thinking I'll probably add another file here for notes. So I'll just call it z.notes.txt. So I'll write everything I speak in here. So when you need to go back to understand things, you can refer to this, and yeah, instead of getting confused. So what have we learned so far? So what have we learned so far? So we've done the following. Learned how to create a header and footer. Okay. So the header always exists at the top of your page, and your footer, your footer always exists at the bottom of your page. Yep. Hello, hello. Uh, we also learned something called tags, which are called links. Uh, these are defined as a href is this name like that. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be doing. Going forward, everything we learn in the lesson, I'm going to populate here. So you can go back to read the notes and be like, oh, okay, what's happening? So yesterday's date. Oh, I'm already in July, sorry. So 29 June 2023. Okay, so I'll put a date stamp. So that way when you watch the video, you can reference that material. Okay. And today is the 30th of June for you guys. But it's already July 1st for me, as you can see there, Saturday, 1 July. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do today. So today I'll have something interesting I wanted to teach you guys. Okay. So what's the end game? What's the sorry, I forgot to put these the notes, the comments. So how to add comments to your .html file using control plus / okay. Comments will look like this, and then down here I'll put this, okay. And they will appear green in color. Okay, I'll put color as the English spelling, but it's up to your interpretation. So these are comments. I did these for Audrey because Audrey had issues trying to make sense of what was happening and everything. I forgot to add the section tag as well. So we've got the section, and article tags for content. And I'll explain to you what this is. Okay, so previously we've been learning how to do div tags, like everywhere, like you just go div, div, like you go div, and then inside this you'd go div again, inside this you go div. So as I was explaining to Mr. Philip yesterday, in web design, there's something called a div soup, which is very, very horrendous. Okay. What is a div soup? So a div soup is essentially anything where you've got tons and tons of div tags in your code. Okay, I hope I can make it bigger. Okay, see this, right? So imagine your code has got div, 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 div. That's not pretty. That's not easy to read. If you have to like fix stuff, it's going to take you a long time. Okay. So as much as I've taught you the div tag, I don't want you guys to use the div tag for content. I want you guys to use best practices possible. That's okay. That's okay. Welcome, Salim. Good to see you. Thank you for joining the lesson. You haven't missed much anyway. I'm still explaining what we're doing and the likes and so forth. Okay. So today we've learned something called a div soup, where um where we want to avoid using only div tags to build websites. Okay. And then I would say example of this. Maybe I'll put the link there for your own benefit. So I'll say example of this is, and then I'll paste this link. Okay. So you guys can, when you get the code, you can look into this and experiment and find out what the issue is. So why don't we use this? Because if, let's say, we search your website, for example, I'll use Miss Carol's favorite website. Maybe not that. Maybe not that. And let's try car sales. Okay. Right. So you see how when you search car sales, you got these links that say new cars for sale, how many cars, private seller cars, Queensland, etc., etc. Okay. Or let's look for Nike. Let's say Nike here. Okay. And then Nike comes up, you've got men, you've got women, you've got Nike sell, you've got kids. Okay. Excuse me. So in order to achieve these results, you need to achieve something called SEO, which is called search engine optimization. So when you search through Google, you want your website to rank really high so that you can get more customers. Okay. So if your results don't rank as good as, first page, second page, you might not get, preferable results. Now, how do we achieve that? We achieve that using something called semantic elements. Okay. And what are semantic elements? So it's basically constructing your website using elements like the header tag, okay, the navigation tag, the section tag, the article, the footer. You can even use a side, but a side is not really common. It's not popular. I would say stick to header, footer, section, article, okay, for now, until you get comfortable. So if you design your website like this, one, it's easy to fix if you have issues. Two, it's easy to read when you search for it online. Google prefers to crawl is to scan your website when it has this. Okay. So the other thing we've learned is something called semantic elements. Okay. And then example of this is, and then I'll provide a screenshot, a link to the screenshot. Okay. So this is for you guys to, experiment, learn, investigate, find out. Okay. All right, cool. So before I go any further, does anyone have any questions? Are you struggling to hear me, or is there anything else you want to ask? It can be anything. No? Okay. All right. No, that's all right. Questions will arise as we go forward. Okay. So what did I say? I said, what's the end game of doing all of this? Okay. So the end game of this website project is we want to design something like this. Okay. Something that looks like that. Okay. Or even something like that. Okay. It doesn't matter what it is. Or even something like this. Okay. So let's have a look at this one. Okay. So our ultimate end game is we want to make something that looks like this. Be it whatever project you're going to do. Perhaps Audrey might want to make a music website about Amapiano. It's fine. Queen might want to make a website about tunes, or I don't know, can be anything. Salah might want to make a website about ice cream. Kuba might want to make a site about pies. Okay, so this is ultimately where we're headed. This is why I was showing you all the tips and tricks behind all this. Okay, so if you look at this, you'll understand. Oh, that's just a header. Okay, if you look at this, you understand. Okay, that's just an image. If you look at all these, you go, that's a link. Okay, so this is where we're going. Currently, we don't look like that, but we can look like that. Okay, so that's our ultimate ice lolly. I don't know, ice lolly. Nice one, Salam. Okay. So that's our ultimate end game, okay? We want to make something as nice as that. All right. Okay. So maybe for the fun of it, I want to know, what does everyone like? Okay. Audrey, maybe if you can't speak, just type in the chat. But Queen, what are you most passionate about? What interests you the most?
Sir, I like babies.
You like babies, all right. So okay, so let's find something about babies. Okay, I'm not trying to laugh at anyone. I want to see what we can aim to make. Okay, so Queen said babies. Thank you, Salim. How are you? How are you today? Good. Yes, yes. I like that energy. All right. What do you like? What do you enjoy doing most of the time?
What do you like that? Playing Roblox,
What?
Roblox.
Roblox. Okay.
Play
So you want
Roblox.
Roblox. Okay. Right. So we've got two opposite spectrums. One's Roblox, one's babies. Okay.
Oh
So we've got
yeah,
this, right?
Roblox.
So let's make a website that does both, that talks about babies and Roblox. Okay. Please don't kill me in the chat if
Why did you
this
put Roblox? And my brother saying, why did you
No, it's okay. It's okay. So we'll do a website
put
about
Roblox?
babies
I'll tell your
and
mother.
Roblox. Okay. Cool. So in that case, let's make a page about no, before we make pages, okay, let's make
See?
it very simple.
Huh?
So let's create a hyperlink here. Okay, so you see how currently it says home projects about me. Okay, let's change this to babies. Okay, so let's go babies. All right, and let's change this to Roblox. I'll include Audrey in this as well, so she doesn't feel left out. So we'll put Amapiano here. Okay, right, Amapiano, like that. Okay, so this is how our thing looks, right? Cool. So today I'm going to teach you something very, very interesting. Because we've only been dealing with text as of late, and I think text is horrible to look at. I think we communicate through images. If you've ever heard the saying, an image, or no, what's the saying? Actions speak louder than words, or an image has, it speaks 1,000 things, something like that. Can't remember now. Okay, so let's say for our heading, let's give it our first website. Yeah, just give it a title. We can change it. Okay. Our first website. Now, we're dealing with three things. We're dealing with babies, Roblox, and Amapiano. Okay. So what do? There's a favorite website of mine called pexels.com, where you can find images. You can find any image you want here in a high resolution. Okay. So let's find one for, I'll say black babies. Let me just look black babies and see if something comes up. Not quite what we're after. No. All right, let's just
It's
type
not
baby.
even black babies.
Yeah, it's not. So let's just type babies and see what comes up. Okay, so it's biased. Okay, it's coming up with white babies. There we go. We got one. Okay. So we got one. This lovely little baby there. You see? There you go.
You just put his face closer.
So let's get the original, which is 5,000 pixels and whatnot. Okay. So let's download this. Sorry, I didn't see the comment there. Now Miss Carol's having a baby fever over there. Wow. So let's close the baby. Right now, let's look for Roblox. Okay, because I want everyone to be part of this. Okay. What? Okay. Nothing there. Roblox. What else did we have? I'm a piano, right? I don't know if they have this one, but I'll just try. Okay. Not the end of the world. Let's look for Google now. This is where Google comes in. So with Google, you just literally go images.google.com. Okay. And you go to Google Images. So we want to look for Roblox, yeah? Okay. Tools. So we go tools. We change the size. We want a really large image because if you use I'll show you the problem of using a tiny image in the long run. Okay. So let's click this. And then I just want to open image a new tab. No, you see? So you see how this image is really tiny? And if we zoom in, it becomes really blurry, very pixelated. It doesn't look good. Okay. So imagine someone comes on your website and they see this. They won't be happy. All right.
Why?
Yeah, no one will be happy. So what we want is we need to get a higher image, a higher resolution image. I think this will do. Yep. See? So this one is of high quality. Okay, so let's
Good.
save this image.
It's not blurry.
Yes. So we've got website in here, so we'll save this as Roblox. Okay. And what did we have again? I'm a piano.
Then babies.
I know that I don't even know. Let me say Kabza. Kabza this small. I don't know if Audrey likes his music, but yeah, let's just go from okay. So let's just go tools, size, large, okay. All right. So let's pick this. Yeah, let me just pick that image. I don't know. I don't even know what's happening. Cool. That image is fine with me. Okay. So let's go save image as. Okay. And we'll call this one piano. Okay.
Why?
All right. For Audrey. Because everyone is included. Yes.
Oh.
Everyone is included.
And now my
So
brother is complaining
why?
that also mine is not there.
Only who?
He's saying also my picture is not there.
No, Roblox is there. I do have a Roblox picture. See? I've got Roblox. There.
But I don't like that one. I
Oh, we
like
can
the
change it. Which one? Okay, wait. Which one? Tell me. I'll search for it. Roblox.
what? The sign. The logo for it.
You want the logo. Okay.
Yeah, this one, yes.
So let's go Roblox logo. All right. And then tools,
Yes.
and then go large. Okay. So I've kind of shown a few people, like Queen and Cooper, how to do this, but today is how I'm actually going to show everyone how to do it. Okay.
Yes.
So let's say this is Roblox. Okay.
Logo. Roblox logo.
Okay, so let's just rename it Roblox logo. Okay, right. So we've got everything. We've got an image for our music. We've got an image for our Amapiano. Okay. We've also got an image for the black baby, the cute one. This one. Look at that. Awesome, right? Okay.
Yeah, I think
Now, so let's I'm going to teach you something very interesting. So imagine this is your folder, yeah? And as you continue to build your website, files get massive. Okay. So you imagine this was for individual files. Okay. That's not good programming. That's not good practice. So what you need to do is you need to create a folder in here and call it images. Okay. And this is where we'll drag all our images in the meantime. Okay, so we'll just drag it like that, and they'll say move. You can go yes, and you can do the same thing again. Okay, so let's take all images and we put them there. Okay, so this way, all our stuff is very neat. Okay, all right. Okay, now we want to do the CSS part. We want to do the CSS part, so we do the
so
same.
what will we do with the images?
We want to use them. We want to use the images.
Oh well.
Yeah. I'll show you how. I'll show you how. So we want to create a CSS folder here. Okay. And then in here, we create a style.css. All right. And then in our index.html, we then link it. This is what we've been doing in the past. If you remember what we've been doing, we just go index.html, style.css, and then we call this CSS.
I don't.
It's all right if you don't. Just revisit the lessons, and then you'll see what we're doing.
But I'll watch the video.
Okay. So watch them and then see how we were linking our style sheets. Okay. Now there's two ways to
Okay.
input. Yeah, there's two ways to input our images in our file. I'll show you two ways. You can choose the one you prefer. Okay. So in the content here, right, where we've got our first website here, let's say we want to add the image after this heading. We use another tag called IMG, image. Okay. And then it will take these two properties, src for source. Okay. So I'll put a comment here for your sake. So IMG draws the image on the web page. Okay. And then
What does IMG mean?
image.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
I get it.
short for source. Now you may be saying, what is source? A source is basically where the file is coming from. Okay. So if you ever heard the
Okay.
words source, destination, source is where it's coming from. Destination is where the thing is ending. Okay. So in this instance, we use source. ALT is something called alternative text.
Oh,
In case your image doesn't
oh.
exist. Okay. So ALT is alternative text if image does not exist. And I'll show you guys what we're doing. Okay. All right. So if we reload here, let's say, where did we save our images? We saved it in images, right? Let's start with the first one. Okay. So we go images, right? / and it gives us all these options. I'll pick the first one. Okay. And save. See? Now it's put the image in our page like that. You see? But what if we have, let's say, a picture here that's supposed to say ice lolly, okay? Ice lolly, okay? .png.
Will it
It's going
say
to
anything?
Sorry?
It will not say anything.
It won't
Because
say
if you
anything.
put if you put anything that is not from this that image thing that image thing, it will
Mhm.
not come. It will say
Exactly. Exactly.
no.
You got it right, Salim. That's correct. So if the image doesn't exist, it won't draw. So with the ALT text, you can then put no image found, and then you'll have this thing here. See that? So this will give you like a warning and say no image found. Then you can look and go, oh, do we have ice lolly here? No, we don't. Okay. But then you can go back and fix it. And let's say black baby there. And look what happens. Okay. And it's got the baby there, but you can't see the baby because it's a big, big image. You see? That's a big eye. I don't know if Queen's freaked out.
But that is only moment.
You see that?
Oh my gosh.
That's a big,
So
that's a
funny.
big,
Remove
big. No, we're not going to remove it. I want to show you how to fix it. That's why you're here.
No, you have
Yes.
to use CTRL and then put minus.
CTL and then minus? What?
CTRL and the minus.
Oh, control minus. You mean this?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is not going to work. This is not going to fix our issue. That's why I'm saying I'll show you how to do this. There's two ways. So, because this image by nature, it's something like 5,000 pixels, you see? It's telling us it's 5,000 pixels, 5,616 pixels wide, okay? Wide is in left to right, and a height of 3,744. But I can guarantee you, your screens are not that big, okay? Your laptop screen is not that big. At most, your screen is probably 1920 by 1080, okay? So how do we fix that? Simple. If we go into our image in our style CSS, we just go IMG, okay? Width, we go width 100%. Now, what does this mean? With 100% is draw the image to exactly the size of the browser right now. Again, if I save this, see what happens? It's fixed, okay? It's fixed. It's the same thing. If you want the image to be, let's say 200 pixels, you can do the same. Okay?
I'm telling Didi that shit.
You say you can even specify to be 200 pixels, but that's not efficient because if you go on different screens, okay, as you shall learn as we go in this course, it's not going to be easy to say, oh, okay, for the laptop, let's make it 200 pixels. For the phone, let's make it 150 pixels. Don't do that. Always say with 100%. Okay. Now, there's also another additional property that you can use. So you can say with 100%, and then you can go max width as well, okay? Maximum width. This is when you can manipulate it and then start saying 300 pixels, okay? Or something like that. So always start with 100%. If you don't want to use maximum width, it will fit. So if I make this big, you see, it's just going to fill up the entire screen. Same thing if I go down, 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 it's going to scale to that screen. Okay. So with 100% will do that for you. So this,
But
and I'll put it.
But up there it says home, babies, Roblox, piano.
Yes, we'll get to that. I'm just showing you how to use images because if I don't teach you about images, you can't make any beautiful websites. Guarantee you now, you won't make beautiful websites. So, with 100%, scales the image to, and I'll fold this, to the dimension of the current device screen. And I'll show you. So imagine we have a phone. Imagine this image is on a phone, okay? So let's change this to a phone, an iPhone 5. See, the image will look like that on the phone. We didn't have to do width 200 pixels or width 300 pixels. We just said width 100%, and it works like that, okay? Same thing with the iPad. If you go iPad, it's going to look like that on the iPad, okay? It's going
How
to
did you do
scale.
it? Can you show me again?
So on your DevTools,
Uh,
click this icon here, the second one
yes.
from the left, and then just
Okay.
change these where it says dimensions. Change to any device that you want.
Samsung Galaxy.
Okay, so you can
Put
change to
Samsung.
iPhone 12 and everything. You can change to whatever you want. It will just help you see how it looks. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that's one way of doing images. The second way is something called a background image. Okay. And I'll show you what that is in a second. All right. So I'll keep this there.
I know
And
what's the background image. That means there'll be a background. Background, like a background. That's the back.
no, go on. I'm listening. It's a background with what?
The background will be at the back of the baby. Like when the background will be out of the lines. I don't know.
Um,
Out of the white lines. And the baby will be inside the background. But not inside, just like things.
technically, you were technically right about the back part, but in this instance, the image itself will be the background. And I'll just demonstrate this to you guys, okay?
Okay.
So let's say in our article here, okay, let's create a div tag and we call it background image. All right. I know. I told you guys don't use div tags for content, but use your discretion. I'm just trying to teach you guys the most fundamental things of CSS, okay? Right. Let's come in here and go. In fact, let's use our Chrome DevTools. This is why I taught you guys about Chrome DevTools, okay? We've got a div background image here. I'll detach this from the browser so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So if I click plus, okay, I'll add a border 1 pixel solid red. So currently our div is filling the entire width of the screen. It doesn't have a height, and that's okay. That's okay. So we can just give it a width of 100%. Now, what if we wanted to fill up the entire screen from where it is all the way to the bottom there? Simple. We use the height property, okay? And we say 100 VH. Now, what's VH? It means view height, okay? So I'll explain something to you guys which I hope will make sense. So this entire thing here, this entire page here is something called a viewport. Okay, sorry, Salim, what was your question? How did I do what?
How did you make this white thing, this the one that says elements, console, sources, and network? How did you do that?
It's simple. On your DevTools, there's these 3 arrows here, these 3 dots.
Yeah.
So you see how it's got these 4 icons?
Mm.
If you click the first one, it will detach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It will detach. If you want to put it back, just click that again and then select these. It will go back.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
I was saying, yeah, you're welcome. So with your HTML page, there's something called a viewport. Okay, viewport spelled
And can I get
VIE.
water?
Yes, you're welcome. You can get water, Salem. That's okay. So there's something else called a viewport, which is essentially your screen, okay? And you probably haven't noticed this, but you've been doing it the whole time. And I'll show you where. So if you look closely in the head tag, okay, there's this thing here called meta name viewport, all right? And this is essentially the gateway, the screen of your application. So a viewport, treat of it as your screen, okay? So I told you this because I wanted you guys to understand what that whole VH thing means, okay? So if I go back, I lost my code, sorry. And, sorry, I'll just do it again. Sorry, I'll turn this off. Go off. Yes, there we go. Okay, so I'll do it again and I'll show you what I was trying to do. So I went border 1 pixel solid red. So if you ever want to see your elements, let's say you can't see anything in your viewport, but you want to check if it's there, use borders, okay? Always say border 1 pixel solid whatever color, then it will show you, okay? It's the same thing with the article if we did the same thing. But for now, I just want to show you something. With 100%. Now, remember what I told you. The viewport is your screen, okay? So your viewport always has 100% by 100%, right? But if you go high to 100%, it's not going to work. Why? Because your height is not automatically calculated when you do your CSS. I'll write this in the notes. I'll write this in the notes file so you can read, okay? So in order to combat this, you don't say 100% for the height. You then say viewport height, okay? VH, like that, okay? And then you see it's growing there. You probably don't see it, so I'll give it a background. I'll turn off the height. I'll remove the height for 1 second so you can see what we just did. So let's go background red, okay? But what if we want the entire div to fill the screen? We then go height 100 view height. You see now? It's a viewport. So you can change this. So this is basically 100% of the viewport height. If you go 50, it would only draw it 50% of the viewport height. And I can prove this. If we change this to a phone, okay, let's say an iPhone XR or 12 Pro, you see how the iPhone stretches from here to there, but it's only drawn this to the midway point of that screen, okay? The same can be applied to our big screen, okay? So you need to learn to do this because I don't want you guys stressing about, should I do 20 pixels or 100 pixels or whatnot? Just let the computer do the work for you, okay? Right, now I said 100 view height, and I'll explain to you why we want to do that. Okay, the next step, okay, I'll remove the background here for 1 second. Okay, so here we say background, we gave it a color. But you can also give it an image. You can give your background an image. You can go background, okay? And then to give it an image, you go URL. URL, if you're going to say it in that way. And then inside this, you then give it the link, the path to the image. So remember our images are here, okay? Our images are here, right? But the CSS file exists in the CSS folder. Okay, so in order to fix that, you would then go open apostrophe, okay, like quotation marks or single quotes. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. You then go ... to escape the CSS folder, okay? As in to go out of the CSS folder, okay? And then ... again, all right? And then you'd go images. And then let's pick the Roblox, okay? Roblox logo.jpeg. You see what happened? It picked out the image. Okay. And then we can say background size. We can go contain or we can go cover. Now, contain means it just restricts it back to the dimension of that. Okay. And then now we can see that it's repeating itself. We don't want that. Okay. We then go background, repeat, no, repeat. Okay. But now it's broken up the image. We don't want that either. So if you have this conundrum, what you then do is you then go cover. Okay. But you're still saying, but we can't see the nice shiny shape. Easy. Background, position, center. Okay. Just like that. Okay. So this is another way to do images as backgrounds. Now, what's the beauty about this? I'll show you something really cool before we go. Sometimes I like doing things this way, and I'll show you guys why I want to do things that way. Okay, so let's just copy this, copy all of that, and let's save it in here. Okay, if you notice your Google Chrome, it strips the single quotes. I like to put them back on, but you don't have to. I just like to make things neat. I have OCD. Sorry. Okay. Now, you might be saying, well, why do we go through all this effort when we can just use image and just put one line? Okay. I'll show you something. So supposedly you wanted to make a cool gradient effect. Now you may be asking yourself, what's a gradient? I'll show you something. Okay. So a gradient is when you mix more than one color. Okay. Like let's say you can combine black and blue, red and black. Personal favorite of mine. There's this website here that gives you all these pretty colors that you can use. Okay, like you see the piggy pink. Don't know if that's your thing. There's different colors like the cool blues as well, and then you got the Megatrons where you're combining three colors. You got the blue, yellow. I think that's in light orange, pink. Maybe I could be wrong, and then etc. etc. So you can do this, but if you do it on the IMG tag, you cannot do this. Okay. You cannot do that. But if you use a background image, you can definitely do it. And I'll prove it to you. Okay. So our code, what does our code say? Our code tells us that we've got background image, we got background URL, this, right? Right. Let's come back here. Let's come back to, I'm sorry, I'm overloading with information, but I want to show you things so when we do them later on, it will make sense why we did things a certain way. So in the background, I'll comment this out for now. So let's turn it off. All right. And let's refresh. We've got nothing. So background itself, background, there's also something called background image. Okay. Background image. Right. And then this one can take something called a linear gradient. Okay, linear means it can either go top, bottom, left, right, and etc. And then it can also accept a file. Okay. So for this one, let's pick those colors. Okay. So we've got this red one here. So I'll stick it in here. Okay. And then we'll stick in the blue. All right. And let's just see what happens. Let's just see if this will do anything, shall we? You see, automatically it's giving us this color here. Right. But the problem is we can't see our image. Why? Because we haven't passed it to the URL. So let's pass it. We still can't see it. Why? Because of something called opacity, right? How you can see it's like your windows, right? If your
What
windows,
is opacity?
I'm trying to explain that now.
Okay.
So in imagery in basic science, okay, there's something called opacity and transparency. Transparency opacity, and I also think opaque. Right. So opacity is how dark or how light your color can be on a spectrum. Okay. Transparent means light can go through the object. So something that's transparent is like your window. You know, the windows in your house, the sun comes through, the light comes through. Okay. But opacity can be something where you can control the intensity of the light or the color. So in this instance, we've got this color here, but it's really, really red. Okay. But what if we want to control the shade of it to maybe just be a bit red? Okay, like 50% red. Okay, so I've changed it to that, and immediately you can see that. Okay, you can
Doesn't
start.
look too clear.
No, it
Wait,
doesn't. But I'm trying to explain to you how
okay,
you can use background
okay,
images with images. Yeah.
okay.
So if I turn this off, I can turn this off, Salim, and turn it back on. This is the image, right?
Oh,
But
so
in
if
case I
we
want, yeah,
so
no,
if
no, go on.
we click one of them, it will work. And if we click them, if we don't click any of them, if the tick is not in any of them, it will not work.
So CSS always takes the last property. So if this is there, it will override this by
Okay,
default. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So by default, CSS will just it goes from top to bottom. So it takes the latest property and then it uses that. Yeah, and stuff like that. So you can either do it this way where you don't have the gradient, you can keep it like that, or you can choose to have a gradient. Okay. Same thing. We can control the opacity of the blue and have something like that. So this is why I was saying you can do it two ways and why I prefer to have background images. I know it's really hard to grasp all of this in one go, but I'll promise you guys I'll dedicate at least 3 lessons to try and help you understand this, because this is how you separate creativity from just general, hodgepodges that are there. Okay. So just to do images, a regular IMG tag we have over there, or a background image. The beauty about a background image is it fills up the entire screen as usual. And you can do cool animation effects. I'll show you something else. Um, like that's what we're going to do is animations. All right. So we can also do like background attachment, and then we can do a fixed. So when you're scrolling, it stays there. Okay. So this is another cool effect you can do with background images. All right. So imagine I just quickly made this height 1000, no, 1000 view height. Okay. If we keep scrolling, do you see that fixed effects? It can do that. Okay. But with a regular image, you cannot achieve this effect. Okay. So yeah, I know it's a lot to take in, but for the sake of today, I probably won't teach you guys tomorrow. I would want you to revisit this lesson. Try and understand this concept as much
Tomorrow's
as
what?
Saturday for you. It's Saturday
Oh,
for you. Yeah. You might be at the park. I don't know, but it's Saturday for you. Okay. So I'll give you the
I'll not be at the
time.
park. I'll be at the yes.
Dentist. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give you time to watch this video. Try and understand why we did image and why we did background images. Okay. And I'll put the notes in here so you can go through it. Okay. So yeah, this is essentially what I wanted to teach you guys, because from here
Will you
on,
send it in a Slack, the link?
oh yes, I'll send it on Slack straight
Okay.
after the lesson. Yeah. So the reason I wanted to teach you guys this is as we grow in our understanding, you can even start doing videos. You can even put videos here. You can put music. Okay. So my goal is to teach you guys how to make websites, not just any website, but pretty websites, because if you make a dull website, people will just look at you and go, we don't care, right? But if you make an eye-catching website, everyone will like seeing it. Okay, I'll show you some pretty terrible websites which I've seen over here. Thank you. Is that you, Salim? Okay. So, like, if you open this website, okay, you see how bland it is. It's like, ugh. To me, that doesn't appeal to me. Okay, yeah, sure, they can offer you services, but the colors are just awful. Okay, you need something that's a bit more, stylish. Okay, so I want to teach you guys to make things which will put this to shame. Okay, so you can make things that when people look, they go, "Wow." Queen did this, very awesome. Audrey did this, awesome. Leon did this, awesome. Salim did this, awesome. Okay. So that's the intent of this entire lesson. And can guarantee you, if we stay persistent for the next 6 weeks, I'll take you from this to a full-fledged website. Okay. So enough of me talking, and thank you for typing, Salim, for writing. Thank you. I hope you will enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll post this code on Slack. But tomorrow's lesson, let's say there's no lesson tomorrow. I would encourage you to revise, watch this video, understand it as much as possible, and ask me questions if you need help. Okay. So I'll hand it over to Mr. Philip. Thank you for listening, and it's been a pleasure. Okay.